good morning everybody. We're now up to the third lesson in our sequence. So in your previous lessons you should have come up with some tips for happiness and your first draft of your paragraph. So I'll just draw your attention to the objectives. We're going to start by revising some punctuation, and then we're going to peer edit your first draft of the paragraph so that you can have a final draft that you can publish to your blog. So let's start off just by having a few people share with us their tips for happiness that they came up with last lesson. Awesome, that's great. So let's begin revising our punctuation. We are going to do a quiz, and it's called a punctuation quiz. And basically we're going to see a punctuation mark and the first letter of the punctuation mark. You need to write on your whiteboards what you think the punctuation mark is and show me. So let's start with the first one. We'll start with this. Hang on, let's go back. All right, that's the first one here. We have a what, starting with P. What is this punctuation mark? Write it down on your whiteboards and let me see. Awesome, everybody got that one correct? We can see that it's a period and it's used to end a sentence or for abbreviations. Now the next one, write down on your boards. And that was a little bit trickier. A couple of people got it wrong, but it's an exclamation mark. It's used when referring to a strong emotion like surprise or excitement or fear. All right, so we've looked at a few different punctuation marks now, quite a few there. And so now let's begin looking at how to peer edit the paragraph. I want to take you through 3 steps to peer edit the paragraph. First of all, I want you to think about giving a compliment. So the first step that you need to take when you're reading your friend's work is to say something nice. So can we give some examples of how we might compliment somebody's work? Awesome. So you can say something that you liked about what they wrote, or say something that was good about what they wrote. And what about some suggestions? The second step you need to take is to give suggestions. So how might we give a suggestion to your friend? That's right, you can say, how about this? Or why don't you do that with your writing? And the last step that you need to take is giving corrections. So you're going to apply what we looked at within our punctuation quiz by telling your friend or helping your friend to see where there's corrections that need to be made. For example, changing the grammar or changing the punctuation. So let's start off by doing this together as a class, and then you'll be able to work in pairs and peer edit your own work. So I have here a blog post and it has not been edited properly. So what you need to do is have a look at what we have here, okay? Anthony has written something about visiting Nick and playing some basketball. So let's have a look. Can anybody think of a way that you might compliment this person's writing? What about giving some suggestions about the way it's been written? And what about some corrections? Let's have a look. For example, what do we need to do here? Yep, that's right. We need to turn that into a capital S because it's a proper noun. What else can we see? Yep, that's right. We should have a possessive apostrophe here for Nick's house. What else? Yep, the word game is spelt wrong. Great. So that was a way that we could apply our 3 steps to peer editing to practice as a class. Now I'd like you to get into your pairs and apply these 3 steps to peer editing your first draft of your Tips for Happiness paragraph. So move into your pairs and I'll walk around and help you to to do that together. Okay, everybody, now that's enough time to do that. I would like to now have a few people share with us their final draft. That's awesome, everybody. Now, when you go home tonight, you will need to publish that to your blog for marking and teacher feedback. Thank you, everybody.